Kemi Badenoch. There's been a lot of news on the internet lately about her statements, things that she's been talking for the past, I think, for the past 6 months. I understand she's running, or she's the diplomat, she's the conservative candidate for the MP of British. So in the process, she talked about immigration, she talked about a lot of things. So some of the things that she talked about is that the corruption in Nigeria, she talked about that. That was some months back. She talked about law banning women from transferring citizenship to their children if they are married outside. She talked about police brutality. And the recent one, she mentioned that she's no longer identifies herself as a Nigerian. Let's look at some of the statements and things.
There were some headlines over the weekend that seemed to
All right.
suggest you no longer identify as being Nigerian.
Number two was law banning women from transferring their citizenship in Nigeria to theirs. Number three is police brutality. And number four, she's no longer identifies herself as a Nigerian. Now, let's analyze it briefly. In reply to her, I know that the vice president addressed it and saying that it's not fair for you to talk about your country like that. After that, I think I heard Daniel Bwala, who works for the president in some capacity, talked about it. An international diplomat, Bolaji Akinyemi, talked about it. I think Bayo Ononuga talked about it. Reno Mokridens, a lot of people in diaspora. Now, let's talk about the main issue here. Are we really criticizing? Is she really right or wrong? Are we really criticizing her, or because a child is like a child who goes out to embarrass the family and say, look, my family, my dad abuses us, he treats us like this. Is she saying the truth though? Or is it the manner in which she addressed the truth that we're angry with? It's one of those. It's either she's saying the truth or lying, or you think the manner in which she said it. Now, I was seeing some comment that people were making, your embarrassment to your country, you can never win MP, that Rashik, the former PM of Indian origin of UK, never scandalized India for him to, well, different people use different narratives for their journey, okay? I will analyze them one by one. Now, the first one she talked about is corruption. Is there corruption in Nigeria? Massively, there is. Not just in government, in establishments, in parastatals, in private entities. I have staffs that work for me that are massively, in fact, the way I'm analyzing Nigeria, let's assume there are 10,000 people in political positions and there are other 200 and something million that are outside. I actually think the other 200 and something million people, when they get into the power, they'll do worse than. Let's check it out. Refer back to Obasanjo's era. Refer back to Shagari's era. They were saying there was corruption. But can you compare the corruption then to the one now? So it's like every year, the corruption in Nigeria, the corruption index triples. Don't get me wrong, there are a few people that are, I'll repeat it, less than 1% of Nigerians, whether you're in government, whether you're in private entity, that are not corrupt. They are not driven by corrupt. You go to the bank, you want to jump queue. You meet a policeman, you want to corner him and offer him something. You want to execute something, you want to offer somebody something. Yes, there are those minority, but they are a minority. So we'll be able to establish there is massive corruption in Nigeria. I know what I go through with even my staff. They make a list of what they want to buy, and the thing is going to cost 50,000. And they give me a list of 100 and something thousand to buy diesel and monitoring it. So yes, there is. And some will say, but there's corruption everywhere. Why? There is, but people do their work. Here, we don't want to do the work at all. Look at the contracts they are awarding every other place. So that is that part. We've addressed it. So we've proven that there is massive corruption in Nigeria, and which is part of what's putting us there. Now, is there a law banning women from passing their citizenship? That's one I would doubt. I don't know, and I do not think there is a law that cannot say a mother to transfer her citizenship to her child, especially if she's married to a foreigner. We might have to get back on that. So, Madam Kemi, we'll leave that hanging on you, okay? So that's one. Number three, is there police brutality? My brothers and sisters, I don't even need to tell you that. You and I know what the answer is. So I'll give Madam Kemi 2-1 for Nigerians. Now, the final one, she said she no longer identifies as a Nigerian. She has a right to. She was born in UK and she grew up here and she went back. In fact, she was even lucky. The year she landed was the year Margaret Thatcher decreed that all children born by foreigners that are not British citizens, cannot be citizens. So she was lucky. She missed it. She got it by 1 year, which is what Donald Trump is trying to do. So that takes me back to. So she has a right. She's not happy with what's happening here. And a lot of you in diaspora, are the same way. One of our doctors, one of our top surgeons, one of our top business people, brain drain, they have gotten tired of the country. They're exhausted. Nigeria is a beautiful country, but we messed it up. Our best brains are out there. You're in America. Are you happy living your country? I'm sure many of you, if you can get just 50%, in fact, let me say 40% of what you get abroad in Nigeria, in Africa, let me use Africa now, you stay here. Because you know what you go through, that no matter what you invest there, even the Kemi knows that no matter what, this counts. No matter what she does, this counts. But many of you cannot come back to Nigeria anymore. Many of you in diaspora, when last did you put your children in the plane? Let's come back to our fatherland. You are afraid of insecurity. You are afraid of corruption. You are afraid of 419. Those of us that are living here and tell you it's not that bad. Even at that, you don't want to still come. But we have a lot to do. Okay? So, she has a right not to. What we should be telling ourselves is this. Let us fix our country. If we fix our country, those of you in diaspora will not want to be in diaspora. You want to come back to the country. Bring 10 young men, 10 graduates, 10 youth corpers. Ask them, young man, you finished now. There's a visa to leave to America, UK, Europe. And here is a 500,000 naira job. I'll tell you, 9 out of 10 will leave because they have no faith in the system. Some are not even living for economic reasons. Some are living for security, quality of life. So please, instead of us to criticize the lady for what she's saying, that's her truth. She's living her truth. And I don't even want to see anybody that's in diaspora criticizing her. And unfortunately, many of people in UK are the ones criticizing her, saying she's scandalizing the country. Where do you belong? You're carrying a British passport and Nigerian passport. Well, you're neither here or there. She's more proud of where she's from than you. You're carrying Nigerian passport and British passport, American passport, and you're defending Nigeria. No, you come and defend Nigeria from here. So the truth be said, she's more proud. She chose that, look, I don't want to be a Nigerian. So I would rather, you can't be hot or cold. She chose to be British. You're neither Nigerian and you're not American. You're neither Nigerian and you're not British. You're carrying the passport, but you're not British. You're not even, every time you're running to Nigeria, you criticize Nigeria more. You don't trust Nigeria. And she's saying her truth. So I'd rather be with someone that tells the truth the way it is. So what's the challenge for us? Challenge the leadership. Get involved. If you're complaining from diaspora, think of what to do to come and contribute. Yes, Nigeria is bad on the country. We have challenges, but every country has challenges. We have advantages too. Okay, there are more problems here means there are more opportunities. Your interest in what you do, your return on investment are higher. Okay, the risk might be higher, but if you see most things that are done here, not many of them have been done in Nigeria, that you've done overseas. Care homes, they are not here. That's a software to be scratched. AI, IT, even the real estate systems have not been done. So instead of us criticizing our country and blaming Kemi, she's holding our leaders accountable for telling us that we have potentials. That's what it means. Nigeria has great potentials. Only if we can harness it. You go to all countries, you're embarrassed. And that is the export of the corruption that we're saying. We export. Many of you use shortcuts and different ways to leave the country and you're still doing many things. There are few people with integrity. So let us not criticize Kemi Badenoch for whatever. She said her own piece. So you can say yours. And I think she has a right for us. Once again, I hold nothing against us. This is an engaging. So if you don't believe it, you can leave your comment below or what you think. Okay? Have a beautiful day. Thank you. My name is OC. Stay blessed.